Hare Krishna. Everybody, thank you so much for joining today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll start with Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Vihari Jana Vallabha Girivara Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Vihari Vallabha Girivara Yashodanandana Prajana Atiravana Yashodanandana Prajana Atiravana Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Hari Bol Hari Bol discussion. We will be reading today from Canto 4th, chapter 14th, verse number 33. 4:14:33. Let's start. 4:14:33. को वैनं परिचक्षिता को वैनं परिचक्षिता 4:14:33. वेनम् एकं रत् शुभम् 4:14:33. Yesterday was 32. को वैनं परिचक्षिता वेनम् एकं रते शुभम् परा प्राप्त ईदृशम् ऐश्वर्यम् प्राप्त ईदृशम् ऐश्वर्यम् यद् अनुग्रहभाजन को वैनं परिचक्षिता वेनम् एकं व्रतशुभम् प्राप्त ईदृशम् ऐश्वर्यम् यद् अनुग्रहभाजन. Do you want to say? को वैरं परिचक्षिता वेनमेकरतशुभम् प्राप्त ईदृशम् ऐश्वर्यम् यद् अनुग्रहभाजन. Synonyms: ka, who, va, indeed, enam, the Lord, parichakshita, who would blaspheme, venam, king Vena, ekam, alone, prate, but for, ashubham, inauspicious, prapta, having obtained, idrasham, like this, aishwaryam, opulence, yet, whose, anugraha, mercy, bhajana, receiving. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence. Once again the translation. But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence. Purport. When human society individually or collectively become godless and blasphemes the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is certainly destined for ruination. Such a civilization invites all kinds of bad fortune due to not appreciating the mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So let's recite Mangalacharan prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं वाचा पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वर Hare Krishna everybody. I seek blessings from all the devotees who are present in this Zoom call, who are present in front of me, and also all the senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, my Siksha Guru, and everybody, everybody, all the Vaishnavas, someone Anant Koti, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, so that I can speak something even without my realization. This chapter, especially about King Vena, it is very, very much applicable in today's world. So yesterday we were discussing in MSU. We had a program in MSU. So we were discussing with students. First of all, I asked them a question: why we are doing what we are doing? Like I asked students, why do you want to go to university? Why do you want to get a job? Why do you want to get whatever you want to get? So what is the purpose behind doing anything? I was asking. So then the different everybody were answering differently. Somebody said that I want to see my family very happy. For them, I'm going to college so that when I get a job, I'll get a nice salary and I can take good care of my family. Somebody said that I want to become a scientist so that I can help human society to progress more and more in technology so that there will be no problems. Somebody said that I want to become I want to become a sports person. So that is why I like to play sports, and I try to go for try to get practice as much as I can. So something like that. So many people were saying. Somebody said that I want to live very nice life. That is the reason I want a good job so that I can be happy. So ultimately, everybody had different answers, but the root cause of why anybody wants to do anything is they are trying to find happiness. I asked them this question: will you do all these things if it gives you suffering and sadness? Everybody said no. Then I asked this question, are you doing this because it is giving you happiness or it will give you happiness? Everybody said yes. So the root cause of whatever people are doing in this material world is ultimately they want to be happy. Now, everybody wants to be happy, but nobody knows how to be happy. Everybody is trying to be happy by advancing in technology or by living luxurious lifestyle or by anything, doing something or other to be happy. But nobody knows how to be happy. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is revealing that secret. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, only by performing of sacrifice you can be happy. Sacrifice to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you can be happy. But what people are doing in now in current times, in present time, they are performing sacrifice, but for themselves. They are not performing sacrifice for Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are performing sacrifice. For example, if we need to get a high degree, we need to do some or the other sacrifice in our life. Even though we don't like to do it, we will still do it. Or if we want to do a job, we have to sacrifice our time. We want to, if we want to do anything, we have to sacrifice something. Then only we can do anything. So, if and only if these people know that by performing sacrifice, whatever they are doing, if they can dovetail their sacrifice for the pleasure of Krishna, whatever they are doing, it will give them happiness. Now, I ask them another question. What about the sacrifice which like they must have seen that in their family members somebody or other must have performed fire sacrifice. So I asked them, everybody said yes, we have seen in our family that somebody or other have performed sacrifice. Then I asked them, what is the result of that sacrifice? Are if they have performed sacrifice 1 or 2 years ago, are even till now, after 2 years, are they 100% happy every day after performing that sacrifice? What was the reason for their performance of that sacrifice? That they want material happiness. Then I asked this question, are they still happy even after 2 or 3 years of performing their sacrifice 100% every day? The answer came no. They are still struggling even after performing fire sacrifice. So why? Why even after performing Krishna says, even if you perform sacrifice, even fire sacrifice, you'll be happy. But why they were not happy? So again the answer came that they performed fire sacrifice for the material benefit, for their own sense gratification. But there was no Krishna in that sacrifice. So anything we do, if we are Krishna conscious accept Krishna conscious activities or accept Krishna conscious process, anything we do that will lead to unhappiness. Here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is writing that currently the society has become godless society and everybody is blaspheming the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of this, it will it will lead to ruination of the civilization. All the bad fortune will come to the civilization. Today we are seeing why this bad fortune. Everyone, we see that everybody is so much unfortunate. Everybody is so much misfortunate in this current time. We cannot even point out to someone and say that, oh, this person is very fortunate, except the devotees of Krishna. except those who are following devotional service. We cannot say anybody else that this person is very fortunate. We cannot even point out to even the richest person of this world or richest person of this universe and say that he is the most fortunate or she is the most fortunate if they are not devotees of Lord. For example, Hiranyakashipu, we can take examples, so many examples, who blaspheme Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though they were very opulent, still they were so much unfortunate. Hiranyakashipu, the richest, the strongest, the most, he have everything which everybody is looking for. He have long life, he have so much strength, he have so much riches, and and he have everything, whatever good palace. He had so much, not just small land, he had planets in his properties. So he had everything what people are looking for, but and he performed sacrifice also to demigod, to Brahma, because he was doing everything for his own sense gratification, and he was blaspheming Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the reason, even though he had everything, he was still unhappy. Bhagavatam says that Hiranyakashipu was not at all satisfied with whatever he had, even though he had everything, because the mind, the mind, especially the mind of those people who try to find happiness in their own senses, is not under their control. And mind shows, even if you have out of 100 things, even if you have 99 blessings, mind will not show us that 99 blessings. Mind will only show that one thing which we don't have, and mind will make our life miserable. This will happen to those who are trying to gratify their senses, because mind is not sufficiently remember Krishna. Mind and the intelligence are not sufficiently have performed devotional service. That is the reason, and there was not sufficient austerity. What kind of austerity? Austerity towards Supreme Personality, to develop devotional service, to develop that love towards Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. That is the reason mind is not under the control. Mind is under the control of senses, and senses want everything to for themselves. Senses want to enjoy everything, even if there is something which is not comfortable for any of the senses. The mind will become bewildered, and instead of showing that 99 blessings, we'll only see that one thing which we don't have. That is what happened to Hiranyakashipu. He was thinking that why Prahlad is not agreeing to worship me. Why Prahlad, who is my son, wants to worship my enemy? And that is why he was not at all happy. And and if you see Prahlad Maharaj, from the side of Prahlad Maharaj, even though he was going through so much suffering, but he was very happy. What to speak of happiness? He was in bliss. He was always in the remembrance of Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj's mind did not think of his senses. He only thought about Krishna. His intelligence was only thinking of Krishna. So that is the reason Prahlad Maharaj was, even though there was so much suffering, but never blasphemed Lord, always worshipped the Lord, always took shelter of the Lord, all in humble mood, and always took the shelter of Lord in favorable way. And that is the reason Prahlad Maharaj was always happy. Here we see King Vena, even though we have seen in the previous verses, as soon as he became king, all the mystic power, all that the eight siddhis the king should have, he had, he got it as soon as he became king. Then still, and then what did he do after he got everything? He started doing sense gratification. How? By troubling others. He was very happy looking other people suffering. He was very happy to remove the sacrifice, to not allow anybody to perform sacrifice towards Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was very happy to see that, and that is the reason Vena in became so proud. He thought that nobody in this world can do anything to him. He took the devotees of the Lord very cheaply. That is the reason we'll see in the future verses Vena will be killed. By the and by whom? By the devotees of the Lord, because they did not kill Vena because of the anger, because of their own selfishness. They killed Vena because he is making other people's life unfortunate. He is making other people not to perform sacrifice, which will lead to ruination of the society. One thing is there to perform, to have that. In the 18th chapter, Krishna speaks about, in the fifth verse, Krishna speaks about the act of sacrifice, act of charity, and act of penance and austerity. Krishna says that nobody should give all these three things: sacrifice, charity, and penance. How Krishna starts this verse? In the fourth verse of this chapter, Krishna says that many people. In the third verse, Krishna says that many people say that all kind of fruitive activities must be given up as a faulty and all. But then Krishna says that please listen my opinion on this. And then after Krishna says please hear, O Arjuna, my opinion, then Krishna starts speaking that act of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, they must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. So that is what Krishna spoke. And here Vena is doing completely opposite. Vena wants to wants to wants nobody to perform sacrifice. Vena doesn't want to give charity. Vena doesn't want to perform penances for the greater good of his population, his citizens. That is the reason Vena, even though he might thought he's happy, he was suffering. No need to. There might be not, there is no verse that clearly says that Vena is suffering, but we can understand about the acts of Vena. He, if a person who is who doesn't take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no way that they will find happiness in their life, and they start doing all kinds of offenses against devotees as well as non-devotees, and that is what Krishna doesn't like. So because of this thing, we see in the modern time nobody is interested in taking shelter of Lord. What is happening in the modern society, like what happened in Vena's time? Humans, especially us humans, There was very nice 200 years ago, if you look back 500 years ago at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the time they did not had any technology and all. They were so much happy just by performing Sankirtan, and people used to be very pious. Even though there were some people who were not pious at that time, but most of the people were pious. But now what happened? Now people, what humans are doing? Humans are themselves creating problems for themselves, and to solve the problem created by humans, they are trying to build new technologies, and by building that new technologies, they are creating again more problems, and to solve that more problems, they are trying to build more technologies, and again, so the cycle is going on. So we are creating our own problems. To solve the problems which we have created, we are creating another problem. Why? Because we are thinking that we can do anything on our own. We don't need God. We don't need Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can do anything by our intelligence. What is the difference between humans and animals? Animals, we all know there are four common things: eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. But what is the difference? You put any raw material in front of animal cannot apply their intelligence to create something. But if you put any raw material in front of human, they'll apply their intelligence and they can make anything, which they think it is useful for them. Why they can do that? Because humans have higher intelligence to inquire, but they're using that intelligence for inquiry, not to inquire the purpose of life, but to inquire how to be materially happy. So they are using the very precious tool which was given to humans by Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, so that they can use it and get rid of the cycle of birth and death and go back to Godhead. They're using it in differently. They're using it in opposite way. They're using it to get more and more binded in this material bond and in this material world, and and they're using it to go in deep regions of hell. That is the problem. Because of that intelligence which Krishna given them, they think that we can do anything on our own. That is the reason they think that I am the doer. That intelligence is given by Krishna only, and still they think that I am the doer. We are only dependent on Krishna. We cannot even think anything on our own if Krishna doesn't allow us to think. That is the reason these people has become atheist. And when we go to preach, and when we say, please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or please take up this book, or please eat prasad, your life will be changed. Many people say, I am all set. They think that they are all set, but how long? Anyways, even if they are all set today, a day will come when they will have disease, a day will come when they will become old, a day will come when they have to leave this body. And again, a day will come, they have to get another body. At that time, they cannot even say, I'm all set. They don't want to go in that body of animal body or whatever, but they are forced to take up that body. They cannot, at that time, they cannot even have any independence. No, they are thinking that we are all independent. We can do anything what we want to do. But at that time, when the time comes, when they are forced by material nature to take up the body, at that time they cannot do anything, and they have to force to take the body and forced to act according as a puppet of the nature, material nature. as they'll act according to the three modes of material nature. Even now they are doing that, and they'll do that the same. This is why this society, because the intelligence which Krishna gave us to utilize it, to inquire what is the purpose of our life, to finish our cycle of birth and death and go back to Godhead. But that intelligence we are using it only in making a society where we are blaspheming Lord, and it has becoming atheist, godless society. That is the reason people are very unhappy. And it is coming from the time and immemorial that people, and we have seen in history, like recent history, Aurangzeb, Mughals, Aurangzeb had, was so cruel that he wanted only Islam to flourish, and he destroyed so many temples. He he killed so many devotees. At the end of the life of Aurangzeb, he wrote several letters to his sons, and in all those letters he regretted the life he lived. There was one letter I still remember I read when I was in school. In that letter, Aurangzeb said that I am very fearful of the divine punishment which I am going to get when I leave this material realm. And I am very regretful of my activities which I have performed towards the devotees, towards the saintly people. There is no hope for me in this world. There is no hope for me in the next world. That kind of letters he was writing at the end of his life. So that is why people don't realize now when they are young, or people don't realize now when everything is going good. But at one point they have to realize. Even if they don't realize at that time, it's very unfortunate. This society had led to misfortune because of this kind of people. So that is the reason we when we got this opportunity to take up Krishna consciousness, when we are in the association of devotees, we should take this opportunity to preach. If they, if the people outside of this society, outside of the association of devotees, are so much determined to go to hell, then we should also be determined, like Srila Prabhupada's determination to save them from going to hell. So that is the reason we have to preach more and more. People doesn't know what they are doing. Foolishly they are acting like animals, and they think that they are very great. But we have to become instrument of Srila Prabhupada's compassion, and go and preach the message of the Lord, so that at least some people will get benefit out of it. Actually, whether they appreciate or not, we are observing it. When we do Sankirtan outside, whether people appreciate or not, whether they start speaking bad words towards us or whether they start appreciating us, whoever they are, even if once they heard the holy name of the Lord, their life will become successful, our endeavor will become successful. We'll get mercy of Krishna for sure. So that is why we should just try, whether whatever the result is good or bad. It doesn't matter if we are putting the step outside of our comfort zone and just standing there, and even if the books are not going, even if we are just chanting, then we are successful. Whether result comes or no, because Krishna anyway said, do your duty, leave fruit up to him. So our duty is to go there and try to distribute holy name and books. Whether somebody takes it or not, it's between them and Krishna. But our thing, we will become successful. So that is why now In this godless society, we have to make arrangements for these people to somehow or other come closer to Krishna, come closer to pure devotees of Lord, come closer in the association of devotees. In the association of devotees, they get opportunity to hear about Krishna, they get opportunity to eat Krishna's prasad, they get opportunity to read about Krishna, and in that way, they'll make their life successful and they will make others' life successful. So that is what I want to speak today on this verse. Please forgive me if I have spoken anything wrong. If there are any corrections, you can correct me. Thank you so much, everybody. Hare Krishna. Anybody have anything to add? Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay, if nobody has anything, then we'll end here. Vancha kalpatarvishya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnava Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm ending now. Hare Krishna.